The following video is a no damage completion of ObsCure. Feel free to use any of the strategies, but listen to the detailed commentary before trying them on your own. Hello everybody, this is a no save no damage run of ObsCure, playing on normal difficulty and also in the cooperative mode with my good friend HeyBlasty. How are you, Blasty?
Hey friend, I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing pretty good, man. Yeah, we just got this run and we want to commentate it for you guys. So anyway, we're just gonna start. I'm pretty sure very soon. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, Josh, get out of our way!
But I've got to finish up my story on the basketball team for the paper.
Yo, dog, Kenny, chill out, man. Leave him alone. Come on, let's hit the showers.
Do you know what time it is? You said you were coming home early.
I said that to Mom and Dad, not to you.
It's always the same story with you. I know why you don't want to come home. Kenny.
We finally get rid of Mom and Dad and you think I'm gonna sleep at home?
Wait, Shannon, I'll go with you.
No, that's quite all right. You just go.
Let's beat it, Kenny. Are you sticking around?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot a few more baskets.
Okay, whatever. Catch you later.
Alright, so the run starts and we're playing on Blasty computer, by the way, so he's a player 1.
Yeah. We actually used Parsec to be able to do this fully co-op.
Hello?
Kenny, you were supposed to call. Did you forget about our date?
Ashley, no. You know me better than that. I just finished practice. Just a quick shower and I'll be right there.
Good. And don't be late this time. See you, baby.
Okay, I'll be right there. Hey, what the? Where's my bag? Oh, man.
Alright, so this is the first character we're going to be using, which is Kenny. It's just going to be used in the first portion of the game. One of the things that you'll see me here is running with Kenny. Kenny is potentially the only character that can do this. So that means like each character has their own like little abilities or perks that will be that highlights them. So with Kenny specifically is just running, and he is pretty useful in some portions of the game of the run entirely. So whenever we have access to Kenny, we will use him, since it's a little bit easier to use Kenny to just get past some enemies. Especially it's like running bait attacks and move away from such enemies.
Okay, let's go.
So it's pretty much just running up down this hall. Not too much. There's an enemy there, but the enemy doesn't attack. It's more of like a scripted movement. And then here, one of the first mechanics in the game, which is just using the flashlight to just take away the darkness. One thing to note is that a lot of the enemies, I think almost every enemy, actually has like sort of darkness on their body, and we're gonna need that we're gonna use the flashlight to take that away, because I believe that it enables us to do more damage, or else they just be, they take like reduce damage if we don't do that. They're still capable of dying, but it just takes longer bullets, not more bullets to just kill. So we're gonna have to hold on to that and then take out the darkness.
Yeah, like they have that kind of black mark, and if you like destroy that with flashlight, they are weaker, so that you can kill them very easily. Makes it mandatory to take them off that before you start shooting.
Yeah, it's very nice.
If you want to do things like on a very more optimized way. But yeah, so just like a very quick tip. Blasty was talking about the perks that the characters have, and you just have to press the R2 button to activate it. So right here we just go to this corner and start shooting in front of us because there are two little enemies. We will go more in depth with the names of the enemies later in the game. There are two little enemies, and there's one big one that is chasing us. So what Blasty is doing is he's pushing the cage, and I'm trying to open the door as fast as I can, as long as my input allows me. And right here there's scripted damage, and you can explain this, Blasty.
Yeah, so the guy from the back is supposed to just die there, scripted, and then these two enemies, what I like to do is I just bait them and then walk away, because the second one, for some reason, actually gets stuck if you kill him when he comes out of the hole. So I like to run back, bait him out of that spot, and then kill him there.
Yeah, and that was the intro of the game.
So, tell me, how was your date? Kenny didn't come home last night. You guys must have had a wild time.
Yeah, right. If I see that guy, he's gonna get it.
What did he do?
He stood me up. I'm getting fed up with your brother.
But then, if he wasn't with you, maybe he...
You think that something happened to him? And Josh? Where's Josh?
Principal's always watching us like a hawk.
Come on, hurry up. Mr. Garrison, lock the gates and send the latecomers to my office. Yes, take advantage of the sunshine while it lasts.
Please sit down and be quiet.
Hey ladies, what are you so gloomy about?
Kenny's disappeared. You wouldn't know anything about it, would you?
No, I spent the whole night working on my movie.
Nobody's seen him since last night. I'm really starting to get worried.
I know. Aliens beamed him up to their ship, did some experiments on him, and finally killed him.
Josh, please take your seat, young man. All right. This morning we are going to talk about
I think we'd
genetics.
better call the cops. What do you think?
Hey, if he doesn't show up, let's meet at the cafeteria at 6 and go look for him.
But the cops would tell my parents.
Great. My first real investigation.
Nothing works in his crummy school.
We're leaving in 5 minutes anyway.
Quit it, Josh. This is no time for that.
Come on. We need to record our investigation, don't we?
Quiet, someone's there.
It's locked.
It's okay. It's just the janitor.
But how are we supposed to get out now?
So after the intro of the game, we take control of Josh and Ashley. Of course, player 1 take control of Josh, player 2 take control of Ashley. And Josh have to pick up the... what is it called, this weapon? The baseball bat, yeah.
Baseball bat, yeah, the wooden bat.
There's another mechanic in this game that you can destroy the windows from doors. Once you destroy the windows, you can open it from the other side. And there's also a lockpick. So about the perks that each character has. So Kenny has the sprint. Josh has some kind of perk that allows you to know that there's something important in the room that you are. Ashley has the most powerful perk in my opinion, because like she can increase her damage with her perk. I'm not really sure what Shannon does. We never use Shannon, so we don't really know what Shannon does.
No, we don't.
And the other character that will appear in the future, that it's I think it's called Stan,
Don't worry,
if I'm not wrong. he basically doesn't need a lockpick to open the doors. He's like the master of unlocking, like the Jill from ObsCure, you know?
Yeah, and I believe he actually unlocks it pretty fast as well, right?
Yeah, like he's insanely fast.
Yeah.
Like just take him 1 second or two.
Yeah,
so right there, what we did is like, I stay in the first floor, but in order to make the character to stay in a floor or in another room, and you can go to another one, you have to quit the game. Like the second player have to quit the game, and then the player one will just make the AI character to stay with the left D-pad button. Unfortunately, it's not possible to leave a room without the other character, like if the second player is still there, you know?
Yeah, it gets automatically teleported to the player one character, or vice versa.
Yeah, like there's no button that you can press and tell the second player to stay in one specific room. Like the player will automatically teleport to another room if he's still there. So that's why we use that mechanic of the game, that just leave the game and press and use the AI and let the AI live there. So right here I will just stay in the door. As soon as the enemies appear, you have to change the camera to Ashley, and Ashley have to open the door, and that will trigger the cutscene, and you won't receive damage from those little enemies.
If you take too long, you'll definitely get jumped by one of them and take a hit. They actually go pretty far.
What are those things?
I don't know. I'll make it my business to inform the authorities.
You don't look so great yourself.
It's nothing. Just get out of here.
I'd like to, but I have to find Kenny first.
Kenny, go see Mr. Friedman.
The principal? But we're shut up in this building.
I'll open the door to the courtyard for you. I have something I need to do. Remember, the light.
He's not much help.
Yeah, like Josh will trigger the enemies, and as soon as Josh triggers the enemies, you have to change the camera to Ashley, and then you have to open the door, and that will trigger the cutscene.
Yeah, and we make sure to be looking at the door, so it's like just 2 button inputs. It makes it quick.
Miss Ashley, what was your reaction when you saw those creatures?
Get lost.
Do you really think you'll get out of here alive?
Don't bug me, okay? I'm calling the cops.
And you, Shannon? Care to comment?
Cut it out. I'm too scared to get around.
Oh no, the battery's dead.
Big surprise. You've been filming for hours.
It's not possible!
So any luck?
Stupid phone. I get no reception here. What are we gonna do now?
We don't have any choice. We've gotta warn Friedman.
Okay, so in order to change the camera, we didn't mention that, you have to press the triangle button. So I'm, of course, telling you the buttons from a PlayStation controller because that's what I'm using. I believe on Xbox controller is the Y button, right, Blasty?
Yeah, it is the Y button. Yeah.
Like when you are on a cop, if you press the Y or the triangle, you will change your camera to your character that you are controlling.
Stan, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I think we used that like once or twice. Actually, no, we used it a couple times. To just to just avoid any sort of encounters that are like pretty dangerous.
Is something wrong?
What? Haven't you seen in the hallways? All the monsters creeping around? It's a real hellhole.
Whoa, dog. I don't know what you've been smoking, but you need to stop.
But don't tell me you didn't see anything. You didn't notice anything bizarre?
Oh, and this is Stan,
I
right?
see up in this piece is whack.
Yep.
So what do you think those noises are? I'm not kidding. We can't find Kenny.
What? You better quit jerking me.
Even Mr. Walden was injured. He had to go to the infirmary. We're stuck here. We've got to tell Friedman if we want to get out of this school.
Whoa, your story's starting to get interesting. All right, I'll go with you, but you better not be punking me.
Yeah, like the most parts we will use that is when we have to like do 2 separate things on the other side of the room. Like we'll change our cameras because of that. So right here there's one hit that it doesn't inflict you damage, but it's scripted. It doesn't inflict damage, by the way. Just like a scripted stagger. Then you have to continue running. You will avoid that little spikes. And this part is very, very hard, to be honest. What we want to achieve here is that not get stuck in any corner and go directly to the windows. Like the first person that enters the room has to go to the second window, and the first person has to go to the second window, and the first one has to go.
Second one goes to the second one.
The second one has to go to the first one. Yeah.
So the reason
right here. Oh, yeah,
I wanted to explain that the reason that we actually do that is because the enemies are chasing the first one, so we want to get them away from the first window. Well, the second one is just breaking it.
Oh, and right here we messed up, yeah, because you changed the camera by accident, right?
Yeah, I changed it by accident.
Yeah, but thankfully we can like just reset the room and use another cup. Like this cup will start destroying itself because of the acid, so you have like 34 seconds, 33 seconds to go to the door that you want to use the acid, like to the chain. What you want to do here is like just continue running and do not get stuck on that little vending machine, otherwise the spikes will hit you, and then go directly to the door. The other character will spawn to your side. Remember, this is a co-op mode. It's not like single player, because in single player there's other things you have to take into consideration in order to teleport your character to your side for every room.
Yeah, one thing to note.
So right here I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, go ahead.
One thing to note is that the player number 1 always spawns first in front.
Yeah. Okay, so right here I'm just gonna pick up this little item, and as soon as I pick up the item, enemies will spawn around me, so Blasty has to be very fast and open the door immediately so the enemies won't inflict me damage. Right here I'm just gonna bait one auto attack from this enemy and then continue running. Blasty is just stay on the other door, he's not on any risk, and just enter here. So that's the main reason we open this door before going to the other one, because otherwise we will have to destroy the window and that will take more time, and maybe the enemy will attack me because of that.
Yeah.
It's useless.
Yeah, they get close really fast, so we have to break that.
Yeah, so on that puzzle, like the compass on the left side has to go somewhere like in the middle of South America, like in Bolivia, and the right compass has to go like at the right side. Sorry, at the left side of Australia. That's the solution of that puzzle. So right here we exchange of characters with Blasty, because I want Blasty to be Josh and I will be Ashley. This is mainly because I will be killing the enemies and Blasty will make the dodges and the hard stuff, like mainly because he's like playing on his computer and he doesn't have any kind of delay. Sometimes I have a delay because I'm playing on Parsec. We are well playing this on Parsec, and you know the internet sometimes it's not really good.
Yep.
Alright, so I think... No, it's not a good time to talk about the enemies. There's a lot of things that will happen right now. Like as soon as you trigger this enemy, you have to reset this room. I'm pretty sure we think it's better to enter to the room, like the woman bathroom, right?
It's better because the enemy who is behind us doesn't get to us sooner. That means we are safer. But I think I'm not fully sure how much is the risk, but basically Ashley is capable of shooting them with her special really quickly and kill them before they can do anything. So yeah, woman's bathroom is preferred.
Yeah, like Ashley with his special ability will quick shot two bullets. It doesn't matter what weapon you're using. Like with the handgun, it will shoot two times very fast, and also with the shotgun. And also increases her damage because he inflicts more damage with that ability. So that's why Ashley is very overpowerful in this run.
Yeah, I think it's like 1.5 to 2x the damage. Also, right here we actually, if you notice, we re-entered the room like twice. It's because on the third sort of like appearance of this room, the last enemy spawns. There's actually 3 instead of 2. And the last one we thought for a time that it was just, a trigger that happens after a certain like object is being cleared, but no, it's just like a certain amount of like entrances we do to the room, it will spawn the third one.
Yeah, and that's very, very helpful because the game will force you to come back to this part of the game later. So dealing with this enemy right now, it's like the best thing you can do. Just trolling with the flashlight right there.
Yeah.
That.
Also, the code for the thingy was the 2432.
Oh yeah, like the puzzle for the locker Or the safe lock is 2432, yeah.
Yes, and the office building too. We've got to do something. Kenny's disappeared. Mr. Walden has called the police.
Mr. Walden is here?
Yeah, he said you would help us.
Go right now and see the janitor. He'll let you out. I'll tell him you're coming. And don't let me see you back until tomorrow morning.
But the creatures...
I'll take care of everything. The best thing you can do for now is to get out of here.
Alright, so after the library, we didn't mention this, but there's one mechanic in this game that you can teleport your characters to the gathering point. That's how is it called. The gathering point will change in some specific parts of the game, but mainly the gathering point is right here, like in the middle of the courtyard. Like the only you need to do is press the select button and then the triangle or the Y button on an Xbox controller, and you will teleport your characters to the gathering point.
Yep, I believe there's like 3 gathering points in the game that we know of.
Yeah, I think the first one, it's like where we start the game after the intro, of course. Like on that little room.
Yeah, like the launch room or something like that. And then the second one is this one.
The second one is here. And I think the third one it's later in the game. We're not gonna spoil that. But anyway, after we pick up the film. Oh no, sorry, we didn't pick up the film.
No, we actually forgot that we had to go this way instead of the that one.
Yeah, it was confusing. Right here you can encounter the shotgun of the game. And of course you want to give it to Ashley because Ashley inflicts more damage with it, of course.
How horrible.
And we are just body blocking ourselves right there.
So yeah, so basically Ashley's gonna be like the main damage dealer, and then we highly prefer to use either Josh or Kenny just because they have the higher movement speed out of the rest of the cast. Kenny preferred because, you know, his perk allows him to run as opposed to Josh, but Kenny we don't get him early, so we prefer to stay with Josh for the first half of the game.
Yeah, that's correct. And also there's like a hiding cooldown of the abilities, of course. The game doesn't show you that there's a cooldown, but there's a cooldown. Like for example with Kenny will lose his stamina, something like that, and he won't be able to continue sprinting. And also with Ashley you can like only use her ability like every 3 seconds, something like that. I think it's 4. So there's like some hidden cooldown from the special abilities.
Yeah, they have like a certain phrase that tells you to indicate you if they're capable of doing it again or not.
Cool.
Yeah, just killing the enemies right here. I'm just gonna pick up the bullets that are on this table. And Blasty gonna go upstairs because upstairs there are 3 enemies, 3 little ones and 1 in the ceiling.
Yeah, we actually found out.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
We found out that it's important that Ashley does the special, or at least start shooting really, really early to the enemies on the left because they actually get really close. And with the handgun, it's actually pretty difficult to avoid damage consistently if Ashley's hitting the one on the right side.
Yeah, and also right here we are picking up some healing items. And this is mainly because later in the game will be useful because there are some scripted damage that we cannot avoid, so we will need to heal that. So Blasty gonna pick up the fuse cage and I'm just gonna reset the room, like leave the room, and just like that we gonna avoid that enemy auto attack. And after we pick up that item, I think 3 enemies will spawn here, or
yes,
just 2?
The 2 in the bottom and the 1 in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Eat this! Go to hell!
Yeah, and also you need the screwdriver to open the fuse box and use the fuse cage and make this little puzzle. If you are fast enough, you can make this puzzle without worrying about the enemies spawning, but we're just gonna make this part very safe, and after we put the fuse cage, we're just gonna wait for the enemies. And I realize if you are close to the fuse cage, like you kind of force the appearance of the enemies faster. So after the enemies appear, like it's kind of random how many enemies will appear, but mostly will appear one in the ceiling and 1 in the floor. Sometimes will appear 2 on the floor and 1 in the ceiling if you have very bad luck.
So I actually messed up the puzzle here, but you basically turn on the switch on all the ones in the left middle, and then I believe it's middle, and bottom on the right side.
Yeah, like I don't know the solution of the puzzle, to be honest. I always let Blasty do that puzzle. But anyway, after we light, like we turn on all the lights, we can go to the nurse. And
Yes.
unfortunately, she's like very traumatized, so she won't talk to us. But she will open the door at least, and that will allow us to continue with the game.
It's me, Miss Wixon. We're looking for our friend Kenny. You don't know where he is, do you?
Kenny. Oh, another one. Kenny?
What do you mean?
Alright, so I think it's a very good time to talk about the enemies, because there's some walking part that is not very important. But before that, right here what you want to pick up is this. Like this wheel thing.
I told him never.
And it's not necessary to open the door. You can just like gather in teleport.
Yeah, from the inside.
And go to the main hall and go to the right side. There are enemies right here who you don't want to body block yourself with the other character, otherwise the enemy can jump and attack you. Alright, so the enemies. So the enemies in this game has French names. Like not all of them, but at least a bunch of them. And this is mainly because the developers of this game is Either Vision Entertainment, and it's a developer that it's from France. So that's the main reason the enemies has French names. So for example, those little ones in the floor that we kill a lot of times are called mordeur. I don't know how it's pronounced in French, sorry. But that basically translates to the English bite. Like those enemies are called bite.
He was in the library, but that was quite a while ago.
The other enemies that kind of spawn spikes in the floor are called crepe. They're basically crabs in English. And like the infected humans are called semi-homme arbre, that it's translated in English like semi-tree man.
Okay, so right here, I believe we're gonna go to the movie now. Since we grabbed
yeah, we have to go to the theater.
Yeah, the theater. And there's actually no enemies here, so there's a bit more walking. But we're about to approach the first boss. Is it meaty boss or just? I feel like it's sort of a meaty boss.
Yeah, I would say it's like a boss.
Yeah, it's the first boss of the game, basically.
Like the rain.
The rain.
It's called like that. It's basically the queen in English.
It's freaky.
That's a good name.
I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing very bad the French names. I don't know how to pronounce French names. I'm sorry for that.
You're doing it better than I would.
Yeah, this place gives me the
Alright, so right here, Josh has to go to the second floor, activate that little machine, and actually has to pick up the wooden
flank.
Yeah, and then start opening this door with the lockpick. So maybe you wonder it's better to bring a stand here, and because of the doors, right? But it's not really a good idea, because you need Ashley for the boss, like for the damage for the boss fight. You need Josh because Josh is faster than Stan. Like the second one that is faster, like the fastest one is Kenny, but the second one that follows him is Josh.
Yeah, Josh is the fastest. And one thing that we haven't talked about yet is that we do kind of like a minor optimization here, but while one of us is running, the other one is kind of like menuing to make sure that as soon as you get to a door, you're able to unlock or interact with the item already at hand.
Yep. So the queen boss fight, like the main goal for this boss fight is that you want to leave Ashley on a specific spot so she won't body block Josh when Josh is luring the auto attacks. So Ashley will stand up right here, and there are several auto attacks that the queen can make, The most disgusting one is that one that she starts throwing worms, because the worms, you cannot shoot the worms. You can only flashlight them and you will make them disappear like that. And then what Blasty is doing right here is baiting the auto attacks, and once he baits the auto attack, Ashley can shoot. Because if you just continue shooting without baiting auto attacks, you won't inflict damage to the queen. Like you can watch some kind of sparkles things when you shoot, and the queen is on a guard position, you know, like she's blocking. And also you want to like destroy the darkness from her face, so you can inflict her more damage.
Yeah, one thing I'm always trying to make sure here is that I don't get too close to her, because even though it doesn't look like she could hit me if I'm well spaced out, there's a slam attack that she does that has a pretty big AoE, and you get caught by that pretty easily.
Yeah, like the splash damage from the slam, it's like the most disgusting one. But yeah, that's basically the boss, like luring out attacks. Once you lure the out attacks, you can shoot, not before that. And if you can destroy the darkness, of course, because you will inflict more damage. And always use the ability from Ashley to optimize damage and like save some shot shells, because we'll be with a lot of shot shells, but that's mainly because we practice a lot this run, so it's very easy to like waste all your ammunition before you arrive to the end of the game.
Yeah,
if you're not careful enough.
Yeah, and even though if the game actually gives you a second shotgun, we don't really use it. We actually do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and these enemies are very disgusting because sometimes they won't be dead, and because the camera is like kind of blocked by one of the characters, you won't see if the enemy is dead or not. So you need to be very, very careful with those enemies, and also because that kind of enemies can jump and they're very fast.
Yeah, which is why you see us like walk backwards as we're shooting.
Yep, so right here I'm just gonna stay on the door, and Blast is gonna start pushing this cage. The second shotgun you can find it on the cage that is on the left side, by the way, if you want it. And once you fully push the cage, you can pick up this item, you will trigger the cutscene, and after the cutscene you just want to change the camera to Ashley and leave the room as fast as you can, because one of the big enemies, the tree man, will appear here.
Also worth to mention that the at least so far the male characters that we've seen there, they push faster as well, so which is why you see Josh me pushing instead of Addis.
Yep, that's correct. Like we used to use a speedrun strat right here that it was about luring an auto attack from the tree man and pick up the flashbang that it's on that cage, but it's not really necessary. So like the safest thing you can do on that room, it's just leap as fast as you can. And in this room what we want to achieve is luring the enemy that is on the left side, like around the corner on the left side. And you want to kill that enemy because that enemy is on your way out. And I'm pretty sure we just killed that enemy without noticing, right? Blasty,
yeah,
right here.
I believe
and we are checking.
Did.
Yeah. Like we reset the room before we watched the dead animation. But yeah, the enemy that is the dangerous one, it's dead right now, so we can continue. He's right here where Josh is right now, so that's why you have to kill that enemy. Because otherwise you want to lure an auto attack, and the range from that enemy is disgusting. So right here we're just gonna go downstairs, and I'm just gonna start using the flashlight before I shoot. Once he's out of darkness, I'm just gonna use the special ability, and Blasty is gonna help me with the handgun, and he should be dead. Like that specific enemy without the darkness will always die with a special ability of Ashley and one normal shot of the shadow.
Yeah, usually what I try to do is actually use the light more than shooting as much as possible, because I basically take out the darkness while Addison then goes and uses the Ashley's ability. Because apparently like shooting actually takes the light away from them, so it's like it takes longer.
Yeah, because of the recoil, like the pump of the weapons. Like your weapons start going upside after every shot, so like you are not focusing the flashlight. So right here we find Kenny. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure he was infected with the mortophilia virus or thing. Like the mortophilia is the... I don't know if it's a virus, it's some kind of virus, you know. Like in Resident Evil is the virus, the virus T. Here's the mortophilia. And that's what changed the humans in those disgusting enemies, like the semi-tree-man or the tree-man.
Yeah, and even one thing to note is that even though we did escape from the beginning, the game kind of has it so like either if you escape or not, it's still going to trigger the sort of the cutscene. Like Kenny is not intended to leave the underground in the beginning, which is why he's captured here.
Can open up all the big padlocks.
Yep. That's correct. And also, he will always be damaged, even if you don't take any damage at the beginning of the game. So that's one of the main reasons we pick up the heal items.
Wow, I'm ready to rock.
So right here, because all the items are on the box, we need to give the shotgun and the gun without the flashlight to Ashley. And leave the metal baseball bat to Kenny and the wooden one for Ashley. So we just kill this enemy. That's the most safest thing you can do.
And right here you're gonna see this menuing the item that we need to use, and as you can see, Kenny is like super fast. So I get there first, and then I'm able to use the item. And actually, while this is happening, this is also moving forward. So he gets to the ladder first.
Yeah, that's correct. Like some kind of optimization to make things a little faster, you know. Not really necessary, of course, for another match run. But yeah, once we have Kenny available, it will be the main character that we will use with Ashley. The other ones are no longer necessary. So by the way, you can like let the characters can die in this game, and that will change the ending. Like they will literally die. There's no way to save them. Alright, so you can explain this, Blasty.
Yeah, so here I'm actually gonna be close to the locker here. There's an enemy that's coming up, and I wait for him to slam so I can move forward and get the statue. And then Alice is going to clear the room so we can re-enter again and like respawn, not respawn, basically reset the enemy position so I can then do it again, because the intended thing to do here is just grab the statue and get past it. But that's a little bit scary because there's an enemy behind him once I get past him that will lunge, which is around here. And so I bait it and I walk back and then I go forward. And this is a little bit scary here because the camera gets blocked by the enemy. But after a couple of tries, I kind of know the movement, so it doesn't be that difficult. And we get out of that room pretty easily. And then this part is basically just hold on, like walk slowly or just hold aim to get through all this.
Yeah, like there's an speedrun strat that you have to like spam the aim button, like you aim, run a little, then aim again, and by doing that you of course will go faster, but it's not necessary, because if you continue running in that section you will fall down and the character will die. You won't just like get damaged, he will immediately die.
Yeah.
Right here, of course it's not necessary to kill that enemy, I just do it because it's fun. Like he's mutating, so we have to take care of him.
Bring him peace. So now we're gonna actually go. We're gonna go for the second boss of the game. Another queen.
It's the same one as the first one.
Yeah, another queen.
Yeah, like there are three queens in the game. like the 3 of them are like you are forced to kill them. You cannot avoid those fights. Alright, so I'm just gonna stand up right in the corner of the table. I'm just gonna let Blasty bait out attacks. Because he has Kenny, should be a little easier because of the sprint, but you don't have to like get overconfident, because as Blasty said in the first boss fight, there's one slam out attack that is very nasty and you have to be careful. I think she won't make that a specific out attack in this run.
No,
unfortunately.
Yeah, she doesn't do it. But it's actually like, I don't know if it's positioning or the area or what it is, but most of it feels like it's more often than not that you could get hit by this boss, by the slam.
It's December 2nd, 1969. My name is Alan Gardner, and this is my diary. 26. I have now counted 26 cases of missing persons connected with the school. Strange that the police have never come up with anything about it. Our school was founded in 1902 by twin brothers Herbert and Leonard Friedman. Herbert is still our principal. That would mean he's at least 100 years old. I just found their birth certificates. Judging by that
How have they stayed so young for so long?
I found this photo of a woman with Herbert, or Leonard. She looks a lot like Ms. Wixon. Photos from the late marriage certificate. Ms. Wixon and Leonard got married in 1885. Leonard was last seen in 1921. He supposedly died in a plane crash, but they never found his body, or even the plane. I found some articles about the Friedman brothers and their experiments, said to be so original that they went beyond. In 1890, they went on an expedition to Africa to find medicinal plants. They stayed for 6 months and brought back a large number of hitherto unknown varieties. One strange specimen, mortophilia, became the basic subject of their research. Photos of disfigured people in his office. I absolutely must find his lab. Underneath the high school, in the basement. I managed to follow him unnoticed through the gardens to the basement of their house. I searched the lab, and according to Friedman's notes, the anti-aging serum is yet to be perfected. The photos of half-human creatures bear witness to the failed attempts. Prolonged exposure to the sun results in mutation. There's also a big door in one room. I don't know what's behind it, but I think I understand how to open it. There's a mechanism with little statues. I've seen 3 of them around the library and 1 in the garden. Tomorrow I'll go and try to see what's going on behind that door.
Right, so after we kill the boss, we pick up the key, and then we teleport to the gathering point. Right now we need to go to the library. Yeah, we have to go to the library because we need the film 24. I believe. Yeah, we need the film 24 in order to continue with the game. And this is the main reason why we killed the enemy at the beginning of the game. As you can see, you are forced to come back to this place. And that enemy will be there if you don't kill it at the beginning.
Yeah, it's really scary to deal with that enemy at this point in the game. Especially because they can launch. And sometimes it gets pretty funky with them when they launch. But yeah, we're here. We're gonna grab the statue. This is like one of 4 statues that we need for the end of the game. So we do have to make sure that we do grab them.
Guinea pig. I need to find the antidote.
An antidote? There's an antidote? You're sure of that?
I'm absolutely positive. According to Wixon, it's behind some big door.
But how do you plan on finding that lab?
Map of the basement.
A map? It's a... You're going...
Hey, give me back my map! He stole my map.
Yeah. And also the enemy that we were mentioning before, it's better to kill him before, like at the beginning of the game, because sometimes when you enter to that room at this part of the game, he can be very, very close to you and immediately jump, and there's no way to avoid that. You will immediately get damage. So Blasty gonna pick up the statue. I'm just gonna reset the room to optimize a little time. And then we can leave this part from the second floor.
Yeah, the second floor.
I'm pretty sure there are enemies here.
Yeah,
oh yeah, there are enemies.
There's 2 on the ceiling.
There are 2 enemies right here. I don't necessarily use the shotgun. Just with the handgun is enough, because they will always die with just 3 handgun bullets with Ashley. I'm pretty sure those enemies doesn't have the darkness on its body, right?
Actually,
Yeah, I think those enemies doesn't have detectors for some reason.
It's kind of weird.
By the way, they are called the Green Power in French. That is translated to the climbers in English. The ones in the ceiling.
That's interesting.
Yep.
So we're going back here to in theaters. As you can see, I'm using whoever uses Kenny or Josh is the one who's going to be mainly doing the movement because it's just faster. The second player doesn't have to really move because it just gets teleported to the other room. And we're gonna go up second floor here, and I'm just gonna reload just to make sure. But you know, if you have a lot of bullets, you don't really need to. These enemies here are gonna die really quickly, especially with Ashley. And it's only 2 of them.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure with Ashley just one special ability, and those enemies are dead. Like one of them, of course, but there are 2. So it looks easy, but you have to be very careful on that part. Like as soon as you enter, you have to start spamming the aim and shoot button, otherwise the enemies can jump to you, because those little enemies can jump as well.
Yeah, they move really fast when they jump. There's a code. We're gonna need in a little bit.
Yeah, like on that specific film, the game some kind of shows you what they were experimented with the mortiphilia, and also gives you code so you can continue with the game. Yeah, don't mind some body blocking right there.
Yeah, for some reason you were in front of me, even though I'm the first player. Yeah, we're gonna be putting the code here really quickly, which is 0582, if I'm not mistaken. And for this next portion on the way to like the underground, Kenny's gonna be doing most of the movement. There's a couple enemies around here, and it's actually a lot easier to use Kenny because there's like some tight spots. For example, this one right here, you gotta be hugging the right side, because if not, you'll get stuck and they can actually hit you there. So with Kenny is a lot easier than any other character because you got sprint.
Yeah, and also take care about the stamina that he has, because if you just like hold the special ability that makes Kenny sprint, he will get exhausted and he won't be able to continue running.
Yeah. It's better to tap it.
Right, so yeah, so right here Kenny gonna equip the metal baseball bat, and I'm just gonna stand up right here with the better flashlight. Like this flashlight is the best one in the game, like it's the strongest one. I'm just gonna slow the enemies by flashlighting them, like focusing them with the flashlight. And when you do that, you start slowing them because you are destroying the darkness from them. And I'm just gonna stand up right there. Do not enter to that little circle thingy. And Blasty gonna go to the door. Then I'm just gonna pick up this statue, and immediately Blasty gonna leap because enemies will spawn around Ashley.
Left and right, yeah. There's gonna be a lot of them. Here we're gonna pick up ammunition, and we're gonna pick a lever after that. And then there's 2 enemies that actually spawn. There's a little trigger, like really close to the stair where Alice is right now. Once I grab the lever, we're gonna walk up there, and we're gonna be close to the left side so we can kill the enemy first on the left, while the other one comes in from the right. So it's next to the tree, hard to see there. But we kill that one, and then we wait here because this guy can lunge, and if you get too close, you'll get hit by it.
Yeah, this part is very, very nasty. I believe the most dangerous one is the one on the left side, because the other one is coming out from the basement, so you have more time to kill him. But the one on the left side is like very close.
Oh yeah, and very important. If you don't kill the one coming out of the basement, or even any of the 2, they will chase you in the basement.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's very, very disgusting. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm walking down this hall. We killed an enemy up there in the ceiling. I waited a little bit there just to wait for my partner to come in closer. But there's another one here. And usually what I like to do is just start illuminating with the light, because there's a little sound cue that will let me know that I'm close to the enemy and I can shoot. So we just wait for that. And then right here.
Yeah. Right. So.
So right here, it's important that Addis actually moves with me, and then he can stop moving from this point on, because there's an enemy, besides this big one, there's one behind also pushing us. So Addis doesn't have to go all the way full. He can just go like halfway through, and then from there, it's GG.
Yeah, because one enemy spawned from where we came through. It's very disgusting. Alright, so this part, it's kinda annoying, because you have to reset a couple of times in order to kill that enemy. But thankfully enough, in this game, the enemy's HP doesn't reset when you reset rooms like in Resident Evil classic games. So if you want to do things very safe on specific rooms, you can just reset over and over until you kill the enemy, like just deplete the HP a little and then reset and then re-enter, you know. And that's what we do here, because the enemy is very close to us, and if we try to kill this enemy with just one reset, it's very possible that he will attack us.
Yeah, and then from here, there's another enemy down here, but he's just a small fry, so a couple shots should take care of him. But yeah, we don't really try to move too forward because he does lunge. It's an enemy away from the screen, and it just likes to do that, so we don't take no chances there. And
yeah. Oh.
After this,
and also use the shotgun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the shotgun avoids the jump from the enemies, or at least stagger them a little, like stagger them.
True.
If you shoot them in the jump animation, I think it works like that. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But I think it works like that. So anyway, right here is the third boss fight of the game. While Blasty is making the puzzle, putting the statues on its place, I'm gonna start depleting the HP of the queen. And then after Blasty end up using all the statues, he's just gonna help me. Like, I'm just gonna bait out attacks, then go backwards, start shooting, then deplete darkness. Like, we didn't mention this, but you have to be careful about your flashlight usage. That is that little bar on the right side. You don't want to use it all, completely, because sometimes the queen will start spawning worms, and you need the flashlight for that.
Yeah, the only benefit here, at least with this queen, is that we have room to run away, if anything. But it definitely is. It's scary when you fully maxed out the when it's actually like overheated. I think is the thing. One thing I forgot to mention about the statues is that they actually like sort of order themselves, and so all you have to do is just go get the one in the middle, the one far to the left, second, and then the third one to the right, and then the last one is where Addis was. Right, so. This is basically, I believe this is the last sort of enemies we're going to be seeing. Yeah. And there's 3 big guys in this room, and there's a grenade here. Is it a flash?
Yeah, it's a flashbang. It's called like light grenade in the game. It's called light grenade, but yeah, it's a flashlight, but
Yeah. And we didn't know that it had this much radius, but you just throw it outside of the room, and it kills all 3 of them. One of them specifically does not load body-wise, but maybe the AI is still there.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, like you will basically kill the 3 enemies just with the one light grenade. The radio of that grenade is disgusting. It's very overpowerful. And also, maybe that's because there's only 2 of those grenades in the whole game. But
yeah, it's actually only 2 now that I think about it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the best thing you can do, because the enemies are on your way out or on your way in, so the best thing you can do for those enemies is just killing them. If you don't have the flashlight, of course you can use the shotgun with Ashley. And Kenny can start focusing the flashlight and just kill enemy by resetting the room. So I'm just gonna use the last statue, and Blasty is gonna use the pull lever. Next comes up the boss fight.
The last boss fight.
So after this cutscene, just teleport to the guarding point, and by doing that, you will force this other cutscene.
You're lying! But it won't do you any good! That's the antidote! Give it to me, right now! You've been exposed to too much light! No! Walden, stop! Give me the antidote or I'll shoot! You've already started to mutate!
But yeah, and there it shows all the enemy. I mean, all the survivors that did not died. But we're coming up for the last boss here. What we're gonna do actually here is that we're going to Alice is going to basically quit the player, and then I'm going to take control of Ashley and use take all. It's better to just give all just in case that I don't miss anything. So I'm taking both shotgun and pistol.
Almost did it.
Yeah, and that's mainly because again because of the lag that sometimes can hit us when we were making this run. Because HeyBlasty is like the main one controlling the game, he doesn't have any kind of lag, so like it's the best choice to just let one player to enter to the boss fight, and of course Ashley is the best call.
Yeah, so starting here, I actually walk into this white spot, use my special ability, and wait for him to just lower his hand to move forward and shoot. That way I get to dodge the first attack, and then I manage to make sure the second attack doesn't connect or hit me. And then from here, as you can see, I'm actually standing in the white light, briefly, just to force the boss to do a certain attack, because it has two types of attacks. One where like spots like chase you on the ground, and then the one where he just does like a sort of like overhead attack. And that overhead can happen even if you're not in the light, but it happens 100% of the time if you're in the light, because the other attack does not hit you. So here you're just gonna see me kind of use that as an advantage to sort of go from one spot to another, because it's a lot safer to bait the overhead and then move forward. So right here you're gonna see me like bait it and then move forward and do one shot. I'm not gonna do the special here because it takes a little bit longer time and it's a little bit riskier, because like I said, he could do an overhead and it might catch me. So I just need a special and one normal shot, so I'm gonna go for the normal shot after this one. So overhead happens here, and then I do the special, takes down that next tentacle, and then what we have left is the last one. Now the last one, if you notice, what I did was I did a special but nothing else, and the reason is because I want Kenny to deal the last damage, because whatever character you use to kill the last tentacle is going to be the one you're going to use for the next phase. So here I just deal with that attack in particular. I stand on the light, bait the overhead, and as I walk out, since it doesn't have range, it doesn't really hit me. And then once here, I switch to Kenny, give all, and then one shotgun shell should deal with the last bit for the tentacle. So I'm gonna bait here this attack in the ground by not standing in the light, and once I see a visual cue or an audio cue, I'll move forward here. And it's actually easier with Kenny because Kenny just has sprint, and then from here we shoot, and second phase comes in.
Yeah, and I believe it's worth mentioning here that that special attack that the enemy has, that it starts spawning things on the floor, has some kind of tracking system, so you always like start spawning on the way you are going, you know.
Yeah, it likes to sometimes it will spawn if your movement is very slow, or if you're tapping your movement or even staying still, it will spawn under you. But if you start moving at a consistent pace, it will try to predict where you're going to be next, and so it will spawn like 3 steps in front of you. So it's always important to pay attention to that. One thing I like to do is I just like to run in circles so it never spawns under me, or like very least it spawns under me. But it's a little bit scary.
Yeah, and also the force damage in that boss fight is that you have to go like in front of him in order to go to the other side of the room. That's force damage, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you have to.
We even tried to throw light grenades and it doesn't work. But I think the damage is minimal, right? It's not like a very big damage.
Yeah, it's minimal, yeah. Not that noticeable. So right here, this is just basically sort of like a timer kind of situation. I'm just waiting for the light to basically kill the boss. And he actually has 3 types of attacks. One of them is like a tail swipe, the other one is the overhead that you'll see him use more often than not, and then the other one is more like a roar, and I don't think it does anything, but it's important to, every single time he does a roar or a tail swipe, we want to shoot to interrupt, and when it goes for the overhead, we run. And this is the reason we actually use Kenny for this part, is because he's fast enough to actually avoid the overhead, because with any other character, it is low enough that you actually can get hit with the overhead. You're still capable of doing it, but the consistency is not that high, and it's really easy to get hit because of some sort of like I would say like the angle for some reason.
Yep, and that was ObsCure, no save no damage on normal difficulty in cooperative mode. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you like, hope you enjoy. Hope you learn if you're trying this run. It was a pleasure to make this run with you, Blasty. Thanks so much for being here and commentate this run.
No, thank you, friend.
But yeah, so any shoutouts you want to make to your channel, Blasty? Your YouTube channel where people can find you?
Oh yeah, so if you guys are interested, I'm also Damage No Head runner myself. You can find me on HeyBlasty, on both on YouTube and any other social media. I believe I go by that. So
yeah, very talented, no damage, no hit runner. Blasty has done a lot of games, also Resident Evil games, a lot of Resident Evil games. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully we will be back with ObsCure 2, no save no damage on normal as well in the future. So yeah, look out for that. See you next time. Thanks for watching.